So a couple of days ago, we finally got the news about who Rogue's top laner was going to be for 2025. Obviously, that is going to be Adam. So now we know all 10 top laners for the LEC in 2025. And now we can finally go over our community power rankings for the top lane in the LEC. So I asked you guys to rank all the top laners from 10 to 1, from worst to best. And we're going to be going over those results in this video today. Of course, first, just want to mention real quick that Holy does have their Black Week still going on right now until tomorrow, December 2nd. So you still have a chance to, get these really good discounts, these limited edition flavors, merchandising packs, all that good stuff. You can see the huge discounts there. You can use those discount codes SE5 to get €5 off your first purchase, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. Holy, great tasting energy drinks that are also healthier than the competition. With that being said, let's get right into this. At number 10, we have Carlson. This guy is going to be the new top laner for Team Heretics, coming up from the LVP, I believe, which is the Spanish ERL. He was a really strong top laner there. Obviously, Heretics believes in him enough to be promoting him up, but he's not like the most exciting or the most hyped up prospect coming into the LEC this year. Obviously, he's a big question mark. People are wondering how strong he's going to be, and obviously, people also have Team Heretics ranked a little bit lower in a lot of their power rankings. It should help Carlson that Shio is going to be his jungler, but like I said, his team isn't that strong. He's a little bit unproven. It'll be interesting to see how he's able to make the transition, and honestly, top lane is looking decently strong in the LEC this year, so it's not going to be easy to come in and be strong right off the bat. And obviously, you guys don't necessarily think Carlson's going to come in and light the world on fire right away. So you guys have Carlson at number 10. Moving on to number 9, we have Lot. Now, this guy was actually a little bit more hyped up, a little bit more excited. Again, you guys have him a little bit higher up, but still, same thing here. This guy's coming up from the ERLs, I believe the LFL. From what I see, he was actually pretty strong. He did pretty well. He should hopefully be a little bit stronger, have a little bit more hype behind him. Lot is going to be the new top laner for Giant X, and again, Giant X has a little bit stronger of a roster and team overall. I think people are maybe a little bit worried about Closer being his jungler, because Closer hasn't necessarily been in the best form as of late. Obviously, top lane is usually on an island. It's mostly a individual focused role, but you do have to set up and make plays with your jungler, so your jungle synergy and how strong your jungler is overall can definitely help you set up dives, help ward off dives, help you make plays. And then later on in the game, obviously, top lane can be a very team-focused and team-centric position as well, where you're trying to just be making plays, whether you're on some kind of tank or fighter or flank or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. Lot, he has a pretty strong roster overall. He's got Jackie's in mid lane, Noah, June. Giant X should be interesting. They should be a middle-of-the-pack to upper middle-of-the-pack team. But obviously, coming in as a rookie, you never really know what's going to happen. You guys have him at number 9. At number 8, we have Nako. This is going to be the new Team Vitality top laner. And again, this guy is I guess the most hyped up of the 3 new rookies we're going to be getting in the top lane of the LEC, and that's why you guys have him ranked accordingly. But you guys did just put kind of all 3 of the new top laners, or the most inexperienced people there at the bottom. But Nako is pretty strong. Obviously, I saw some stat where he had like a ton of solo kills in the EMEA Masters and stuff like that. So, like I said, he is still a big question mark. Top lane is definitely a little bit stacked this year. Should be pretty interesting. These younger guys, I think you could maybe move them up a couple spots. I'm sure you could interchange them depending on who you think is the most interesting prospect, who's going to fit in their team the best. I think Lot is definitely going to be playing on the best team. I think Nako, Team Vitality doesn't necessarily look like the strongest roster, and again, that could negatively impact him. I think Heretics and Vitality definitely look a little bit weaker than Giant X, so Lot's probably in the best position for success, but Nako's maybe the most hyped up prospect of the 3. So like I said, you can move them around whatever order. You guys have him at number 8. We'll have to see how he does and how all 3 of those young rookies do heading into the LEC this year. At number 7, a little bit more of a familiar face, you guys have JNX. He's going to be the SK Gaming new top laner. Obviously, he has some big shoes to fill, replacing Irrelevant here. And yeah, he's a guy that we know, a guy who we've seen plenty of before in the LEC. He's a guy who, at his best, can be pretty solid, middle of the pack, upper middle of the pack kind of top laner, but also he's not always in like the most insane form or always at his best form. So I don't know. He's a guy who I think is not ever going to be too terrible for you. You kind of know what you're getting, a pretty solid guy. But I also don't think he's going to like come in and be like some kind of huge carry, huge dominant top laner either. Maybe he's going to have some kind of resurgence in his career. I don't know. To me, he just kind of like seems pretty uninteresting, uninspiring. I don't know. Like I said, he has, it's going to be tough to replace Irrelevant, and I don't necessarily think Gen X is going to do like an amazing job replacing Irrelevant. I think it's overall probably a pretty big downgrade. And yeah, I think that's why you guys have him towards the bottom of this list here at number 7, but you do have him ahead of all the rookies. Like I said, if you want to throw one or the rookies ahead of Gen X, whatever, I don't even think that would be too crazy either, but I don't know. That's where we're at for this. At number 6, we have Mr. Merwin for Koi. Now, could this be a little bit low for Merwin? Hey, you could definitely argue that he could be moved up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. This Koi lineup also obviously had plenty of ups and downs throughout the year, and then kind of was a little bit disappointing at Worlds and stuff, but they had their moments. I don't know. Obviously, Koi getting a big upgrade with Jojo put in there. Merwin definitely getting a big bump, having El Yoya as his jungler. That definitely makes things a lot easier. I think Koi also has a very, very strong roster, which should help Merwin, perform and be pretty strong as well. You guys have him down at number 6, though. Like I said, the top tier, the top laners are all pretty strong and pretty relevant, so it's a little bit tough. But yeah, you guys have him at number 6. At number 5 is maybe the big surprise on the list. Not necessarily that you guys have him this high, but just the fact that he's even on the list at all. I definitely did not think we were going to be seeing Adam in the LEC in 2025, especially how the offseason had gone. Not due to lack of talent, but just because it didn't really seem like there was any place for Adam to go. Obviously, he has a big personality. He's started some drama and controversy in some places. He's burned some bridges in some places, whatever. You guys have Adam at number 5. He's going to be the new top laner for Rogue. He's the last kind of missing piece of this top lane puzzle that we'd been waiting on to see what Rogue was going to do. They're deciding to go with Adam. Like I said, very, very talented player. But this Rogue roster, we still don't know who their jungler support's going to be. We still don't even know what the heck is going on with them. So yeah, it's hard to say, who Adam's jungler is even going to be, who his team's going to be, how strong is Rogue going to be. Like I said, these are all things that are going to depend on how well you're able to perform as an individual player. But just based on individual talent, yeah, Adam is definitely deserving of a mid to upper tier spot on this list. He's a great player at his best when he's kind of focused and locked in and avoiding some of those off the rift issues that we did talk about. But yeah, Adam, he's back in the LEC. Pretty crazy. At number 4, we have Oscar. Now, I definitely think there is some questions and debate to be had whether Oscar deserves to be number 4. Does he deserve to be ahead of Adam? Does he deserve to be ahead of Merwin? I don't know. It just kind of depends. Obviously, Fnatic definitely has a strong roster. The roster around him is definitely going to help. Razork as his jungler, maybe the best jungler in the LEC. Humanoid as mid laner, upset Mickey. Fnatic has an amazing team, and that's definitely going to make Oscar look a little bit better. It's going to boost up some of his stats and stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely some debate to be had here. I know on the stats, you guys had Oscar significantly ahead of Adam and Merwin. So you guys think, Oscar's closer to the top 2 or 3 top laner in the LEC than you think to 4 or 5. I'm sure there's some debate to be had about there. I know there's kind of mixed opinions about Oscar and how good he is and, where he fits into this whole Fnatic system. But obviously he's a great player. He's done some cool things. I know people want to see him continue to get better and better. I know people have very high expectations for him and Fnatic this year. They want to see him take a step up. They want to see him contend with Broken Blade and some of these other top tier top players in the LEC. And they also want to see Fnatic win a title, have some success at World, stuff like that. So there's maybe some increased pressure on guys like Oscar and the whole Fnatic roster. But obviously Fnatic definitely believes in Oscar. They just signed him to an extension this offseason. They brought him back as their top laner. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. You guys have him at number 4. At number 3, we have Kana. Obviously, I think this was a big move that K-Corp was able to bring him back. You guys have Kana just slightly ahead of Oscar. It was actually very, very, very close between the top 2, 3, and 4. Just a couple of votes difference between the guys at 2, 3, and 4. So that shows, again, you guys have Oscar, Kana, and the number 2 very close to each other. So you guys think they're all on pretty similar levels. But yeah, Kana was a big bring back for K-Corp. I think it was pretty cool. I know there was some talks at certain points that Kana could maybe leave and that K-Corp wouldn't be able to bring him back. Also, I think K-Corp definitely got better this offseason, obviously bringing in Yike as their jungler, which is going to be very exciting. That should definitely help out Kana if Yike is legit. Obviously, Yike looked like one of the best junglers in the LEC last season, but now leaving G2, leaving Broken Blade, leaving Caps, it'll be interesting to see how good Yike's able to fit in with K-Corp and all that stuff. But if Yike is the real deal and is legit and can thrive on his own outside of G2, him and Kana is going to make a very, very strong top jung duo and really hopefully enable each other to do some really, really cool things. But yeah, Kana, very talented player. You guys have him at number 3. At number 2, Irrelevant. This was one of the most highly sought after players in the offseason. Him going to BDS was definitely a big deal. Obviously, he's replacing Adam on BDS. Now, one of the questions for BDS and for Irrelevant in the top lane is 113 as his jungler. I know people were a little bit confused and maybe shocked to see BDS going with 113 in the jungle. And that could definitely have a negative impact on Irrelevant if 113 does not show up and have a strong split or strong year or whatever. But on an individual basis, Irrelevant is definitely legit. He is definitely the real deal. People are very, very high on this guy coming in out of 2024, and I hope he's able to keep a similar form in 2025 because, again, if we want the LEC to be strong, if we want all our players to be strong, we need those individual players and the rivalries, the matchups, pushing each other on stage, in scrims, all this stuff. So Irrelevant has looked very, very strong lately. I hope he's able to continue that. I hope he has a great 2025. I think he's a very fun player to watch. I think he's a guy who I'm definitely excited for, and obviously a guy who you guys seem excited for as well. But like I said, just a couple of votes difference between Oscar, Kana, and Irrelevant in those 2, 3, and 4 spots. So that was very, very close. It could have gone any way, could have gone either way there. But at the top, you guys have a very, very clear number one. Obviously, no surprises here. At number one, you guys have Broken Blade. BB, this is a guy who I have known and loved for a long time. Obviously, this guy coming from North America, where I've watched a ton of LCS. I really got to see him develop, and now seeing him as one of the most highly respected top laners in the entire world, and seeing as a consistent threat for G2 is super fun, super exciting. I'm super proud, super happy for him. And obviously, no brainer there. You guys have him as the number one top laner coming into next season. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see how this new look G2 lineup works and functions, how BB is able to operate with Skewmon in the jungle as opposed to Yike. But BB has been around for a couple of different iterations of G2 now with some different junglers, different rosters, and he has consistently shown to be a beast. And I expect plenty more of that in 2025, and obviously you guys do as well. But this was it, your guys' community 2025 power ranking coming in for the next season. Who you guys all think? Obviously, this will be pretty funny to look back on and see who we got right and who we got wrong, all that good stuff. And hopefully, we're able to do some more of these power rankings and tier lists very, very soon. Hopefully, catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.